Hello and welcome to my channel, the Amenorrhea Fertility Diaries. In this episode, I'm going to deviate a little bit from my normal content, and I'm going to go a few steps ahead, and I'm going to talk a little bit about life and how can life be after you have fully recovered from hypothalamic amenorrhea for a longer time, and how you can or cannot go back to your older habits or to some health practices that can be beneficial in general, but that are not so good during HA recovery. So specifically, I'm going to be talking about fasting. Can you ever do some kind of form of fasting if you have had HA or hypothalamic amenorrhea? That is my question. And I have to say that I find that the topic of fasting is really like almost a taboo now within the world of the HA recovery coaches, because of course I must be super clear, you shouldn't do fasting when you're still in recovery. Absolutely not. The same way as you shouldn't do heavy exercise either, because it's all about stress. You are already in a very stressful situation for your body. You're trying to recover from hypothalamic amenorrhea, which is always caused by some kind of stressor. The stressor can be underfueling with food, with calories. The stressor can be even psychological. The stressor can be over-exercising. The stressor can also be a surgery. For example, a lot of women that are still overweight but that have had liposuction or some kind of other plastic surgery can suffer from HA afterwards. So you need to give the body the signal that it's safe. You need to try to remove and address that stressor and other stresses in life to recover. So I'm not discussing that. You should never do it when you are recovering. It would be too much stress, just like exercise, as I said, or just like going on a keto diet or on a low-carb diet. But once you finished, the same way as people think, can I go back to exercising, or can I ever do a more like low-carb diet approach ever again in my life? Well, of course, I think you cannot rule out that either. I said always my channel is all about transparency. I also said I never had an eating disorder, so I don't know, maybe it's a little bit different if you're really having an eating disorder and this is triggering. Maybe you shouldn't watch this episode. I'm just talking for people who are kind of a normal, healthy weight and but have had HA in the past and maybe have already recovered and are trying to incorporate back some habits such as exercising, fasting, etc. So in this video, I'm going to guide you through my fasting experience. I'm going to do a 40-hour water-only fast. I wanted to do a little bit longer, ideally 3 days. I think the 3-day fast is the perfect length of fasting. But I cannot do 3 days because I have a meeting with friends and we're going to go for dinner on Sunday evening. So I can only do up to 40 hours, which is okay. But I'm going to do really water-only fasting because I've tried to do some other like broth fastings with juices and all that. And I read a lot about these fasting clinics that offer you a juice cleanse and all that. But I don't know, I think to really trigger autophagy and to get into this ketosis mode to get all the maximum benefits, or at least the benefits that I am looking for, which is not weight loss and stuff like that. It's more to heal my inflammation. I've been feeling a bit inflamed on my stomach. And also to try to help healing an injury that I have, and also experimenting a little bit with this detoxing a bit, because I've been eating like a lot of unhealthy stuff lately and carbs and sugars and everything, and I just feel like my dopamine is all over the place, that I'm not really getting satisfaction from food anymore. I feel that I'm getting some bad habits, such as like putting sweeteners in my drinks, which I never did before. So I want to reset all that. And that's the reason of my fast. So I also think we're talking about stress. You shouldn't put too much stress on yourself because fasting is already a big stressor. So you should definitely do it in a very quiet, calm mindset and do it when you are able to really relax. Anyway, I'm gonna jump right in. I just wanted to clarify that I think, intermittent fasting can be interesting as a weight loss tool to do it like all the time, or not all the time, or just like several times a week. But now we're talking about extended fasting or prolonged fasting, which is anything that is above 24 hours. And there I think the sweet spot would be that 72 hours, from 48 to 72 hour fast, because there you will get all the benefits of autophagy. More than that, I would recommend you to do in a supervised way. And less than that, I find a little bit pointless, because to do less than a 24-hour fast, it would more be like an OMAD style kind of intermittent fasting way. So I would like put it in another type of category. I mean, it's all good, but actually your autophagy is going to start then. So I think it's more interesting now that you do it to go over and do at least, from 48 to 72 hours would be the sweet spot. Also, I think it's better to do just water fasting in terms of adherence, because there comes a point where it's really difficult, but once you go through that and you push through that, you really get into this like a very energized mode, and you feel light and good. And if you're constantly triggering your stomach, your intestines, your hunger with giving yourself juices and stuff like that, I think it puts much more stress in your body than if you just do water. How many times you should do this? Well, that depends on what you want, what your goals are, what your weight is and all that. I think I see it as a cleanse, as a detox, that you shouldn't do more than 3 times a year, for example, or maybe 4 times a year. But anyway, there's a lot of very useful content about this online, so you can do your little research. As I said, never take anything for granted, always do your research as well. And as I said also, this is a channel where I'm just telling you the things that I do from my point, so I'm not like a doctor or anything like that, and you shouldn't take this as medical advice. So I'm going to guide you through the experience, and I'm going to be talking about how I felt and how I'm feeling, and maybe this will give you some insight if you're curious and trying some fasting. As I said, never when you're still in recovery. Wait until you've recovered, and then maybe do it, maybe not. So good morning, guys. It's 8 a.m. and I woke up a little bit ago. I went out to go for a little gentle run. Normally I didn't want to do any kind of heavy exercise when fasting, because I don't think that's great. But yesterday I did exactly what they never recommend, which is I went out for dinner, and I had a huge dinner with loads of carbs and sugar. I ended up with dessert. Yes, I also had wine. So I had the 3 things that they don't recommend to have before a fast, which is loads of carbs, sugar, and alcohol. But I've experienced that when I've done other fasts before in the right mindset, and where I could really relax and feel the benefits of fasting, of course going through some kind of adaptation and a little bit of difficulty, but not really feeling like terrible about it. Those other occasions, it was always when I had the highest motivation, and that was always after kind of letting myself go a little bit and kind of indulging. For example, after the Christmas time, I did another 24-hour fast, and I had been eating turkey, meat, desserts, everything, drinking wine for 1 week, and I felt like my body was asking for it. So as I explained, we're going to fast only when I really feel it, when my body is craving it, and from the right mentality. So not as a punishment or as what's a desperate method of trying to lose weight, etc., etc., etc. I remember, and I say again, that I do not really recommend, I do definitely not recommend fasting if you're recovering from HA, but once you're recovered, I think it's a great tool. I think it's something we are made for doing. We used to have periods of fasting, and I think you can get a lot of benefits out of the autophagy and out of being in ketosis every now and then, okay? So not overdoing it. So it's 8 a.m. and I'm gonna go for a gentle jog and a little run to try to burn off those extra sugars that I had yesterday. I just woke up feeling with a lot of energy, so I thought, like, why not? And then I will follow up later with you. Stay put. So as I said, we're going to do a water-only fasting, but I also will have 1 to 2 coffees per day, because I'm not going to start doing the whole caffeine detox in this moment. I think if you really want to give yourself a true rest of everything and your liver, you should also stop with coffee, but then you should start not drinking coffee like a few weeks ago you begin with the fast, because otherwise you're going to have to deal also with the caffeine withdrawal symptoms that are quite tough if you're used to drinking coffee every day. So this morning I just had a big glass of water and my black coffee, and I put a little bit of cinnamon in there, which has no calories, to give it some flavor. But as I said, this time I'm not going to do any soups or anything else. Perhaps if I have a lot of stomach trouble, which I sometimes get when I'm like fasting, I will have a little bit of lemon and apple cider vinegar in my water, which has less than 5 calories in total and doesn't really break your fast. But I'm not going to have any bulletproof coffee, any soups, any juices, any bone broth or anything like that, which is all great, but that's for another occasion. It's another type of fast. This time I really want to experience what it is to go only with water, because last time I did it, I really felt like it was tough, but you get into this, I don't know, kind of all or nothing mode. And also your body, I guess it's this ketosis that they talk about, once it switches after about 18 hours, it's really incredible, because you just stop having hunger, and it's quite interesting to experience that, you know. So anyway, we're gonna start with a very gentle run, or more jog, and I'm not gonna do it too long, just like maybe a half hour or something. I will see. I will just see how I feel. It's all about how you feel, I think, and about listening to your body, but also having a plan, of course, and knowing that it will cost you some kind of adaptation, you know, and because you're putting your body under a little bit of stress. But that's why it's important to relax into it. Look at this beautiful sea, and I will enjoy also the beautiful sunrise over there, which is amazing. Okay, see you later. I had to film this. It's so beautiful to see the sun coming up here. Until recently I could even see the moon. Hello, so I just finished my little run. I just did like 4.5 kilometers, which is less than I would normally do, but as I said, I didn't want to exhaust myself too much, and I didn't use any apps to record it, so I just followed my feeling. But that felt nice, and I think that would help me burn through the alcohol and the sugar that I consumed yesterday. As I said, I'm all about food freedom, so maybe some of you are confused and are thinking that this is not really in alignment with the rest of the content of my channel. I cannot repeat enough that if you're recovering from HA, you shouldn't do fasting, you should eat regular meals. Watch my other videos where I explain how you can recover your cycle. But I said also I want to do a channel that is all about transparency. So in this case, this is what I'm doing, and I'm just showing you a little bit how I go through my life. And as I said, I think your body is finally the one who tells you what you need, but you need to learn how to listen to it. And my body was craving a little bit of fasting today, because fasting, I mean, we cannot deny that it's a great tool for other people too. So I already have my cycle, I gained some weight and everything. I'm not doing it for weight loss purposes. I'm not doing it to punish myself. I'm not doing it to compensate. I'm just doing it to get the benefits of fasting and autophagy. So that's the reason of it, and that's the most important part, is that you do it in a relaxed way and in the right mindset. So it's never a punishment. And also, if you're feeling terrible, of course you should always break it. I realized that the key to be successful in it is to really relax. So I used to do my fasts when I was, I used to try to muscle through it and to do it during my working routine. But that's not ideal. Although if you have nothing to do the whole day, that's not ideal either. So today is the perfect day, because I have to work only for a couple of hours in my office, so that will distract me, but it's not a long day, and I don't have any meetings or anything like that, so I just have to do some administrative work, and then the rest of the day I always try to really pamper myself as much as possible and make it a positive thing, you know, like make it a day for me. I tell my boyfriend and I tell everybody, like, today I'm on a retreat on a retreat at home, and so don't count on me. Please don't offer me any food. I don't ask them to do it with me or anything like that, but just that. And I'm just make sure that I'm away when they're cooking, because otherwise the smells can really incite you to eat. So yeah, that's how I do it. And also I if I can, I try to like book a massage or do something like that, which is making me feel great and change my state of mind in other ways than with food. So there's a great Thai massage really here in the neighborhood. I will probably call and get a massage later.
I will also try to do something new, which I'm exploring with experimenting with, it's the cold plunges. So a little bit later when I finish my work, I'm gonna have a little dip in the sea. But the thing is, it's not that cold here, even though it's January. In this part of the world, I have the luck of living in the Mediterranean world, where it's, well, I don't know if it will count as a cold plunge. I checked and the water temperature is about 15 degrees, which I think is, it's not warm either. So I'm gonna see how that affects my hunger levels and my fasting. I think it's gonna be very positive. And that's it. For the rest, I will be showing you what I'm doing today. But I just plan to have a very relaxing, nice day where I really do not do too many things. So it's good because then I also really relax, make myself relax, because I'm someone who normally will plan a lot of things in the weekend. But when I'm fasting, I try to keep it very, very simple. Hi again. Well, now that I have a minute, I would like to go through the golden rules or tips that I use when I fast, and to make sure that my fast goes successfully. So golden rule number 1 is never feel guilty if you cannot complete the fast because you're feeling bad or whatever, or even because you just failed because you were weak. It doesn't matter, you just switch into eating mode. One thing I would really recommend is, if you break the fast, this is my tip. I'm not saying everybody should do it, but to me, then when I indulge in the food and I don't do it in the end, I need to go and switch into really eating. So not staying in this like semi-fast state and eat a little bit and then continue. It just never works with me. I just say, okay, it wasn't the day, and I just have a big healthy meal with a lot of healthy protein, fats, and then I go into eating mode, and that's it. And I try to just reset and eat healthy that day, not overconsume, underconsume, or anything like that, and then not feeling deprived. And next time when I'm ready, I go for the fast. So that would be the rule number 1. So I would say, or if you fast or you eat, but you don't stay in this kind of in-between zone. And secondly, it really is important to set your intention very, very clear. And for me, so that it gets ingrained into my head and into every part of my body, I need to write it down. So I always write it down, and I plan it like 1 or 2 days ahead, or sometimes even more days ahead. You have to choose the right day, as I said, like a day that you're not too busy and not too many challenges. And then I write down on a sheet of paper that looks a bit like this. Yeah, it's a bit chaotic, but in my head it makes sense. I write down my motivation for this fast. And then after that, I write down a schedule of what I'm going to do the whole day. So in this, I carry along with me, and when I feel weak, or even every now and then, I look at it and I remind myself, and I repeat in my head the 2 motivation sentences that I've written down. So in this one, I wrote, for example, the first one is, try the health effects of water-only fasting, reach ketosis, autophagy, and experience a day without hunger. Cure your injuries and inflammation, and reset your dopamine cravings and motivation. So those are the 3 reasons that I'm going to fast. It means that I've had a little injury in my leg for a long time, and I also feel quite bloated lately because I've been eating a lot out, a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar, and all these things that I don't really usually eat that much. Processed foods, everything. So I feel like my body is craving a fast, and to get a little bit unbloated. Then I hope that I will be able to cure my injury, because autophagy really is amazing. It's when the cells start rejuvenating themselves after you are deep into the fast, and this can have healing effects to your whole body. I also notice it a lot in my skin, in my face is a little bit less puffed up and everything. So that I want to reach. And what was the other one? Reset dopamine and cravings. Well, after eating badly in the last week, as I said, I've been experiencing a lot of cravings, and it's normal, you crave the foods that you eat. So I wanted to get rid of that. And also there comes a moment when you overconsume these like highly palatable foods, you will feel like nothing brings you real pleasure. So I feel that I was putting a lot of salt in my food, which I would never normally not do. I felt that I wanted to put sweetener in my coffee, which I also normally don't do. And I felt that just a very sober, simple meal wouldn't really satisfy me, because I put my dopamine threshold much higher, and then you have to get into it. It's almost like an addiction, So I want to reset that, and fasting is amazing for that. If you want to get rid of any bad habits, like putting sugar in your coffee, or I don't know, putting too much salt or whatever, craving food that you crave, that you feel that you're not in, that you can't stop craving, you're not in control, you're not really hungry for them, they're not nutritional. After a fast, it will be much easier to implement all those nice, good habits again, and to really enjoy every single morsel of good, healthy, real food, which I advocate for again. Well, these are super important things, and that I really do always, and it helps me to get into the mood of fasting. And then I wanted to quickly go through some different types of fasting. I've been following a lot recently some clinics. Hello again. So now I am ready to go to work a little bit, just showered. That little run felt amazing, really. I'm only about 12 and a half hours in, so it's not really fasting yet, but yeah, I'm feeling very good. I think it really helped to clear out a little bit of the toxins I consumed yesterday. So I just had my glass of water with a little bit of salt, because as I mentioned before, salt is really, really good for fasting, and it's not really necessary if you're just doing 48-hour fast like I'm doing, but it can really help you, especially if you've done a little bit of exercise. So just a pinch of salt in water, and I like to take my water a little bit warm, and then it kind of feels like I'm drinking soup the whole day, so I will be sipping on that, not overdoing it either. But of course also, even though you don't exercise, because you're drinking so much water, probably like 3 to 4 liters of water, it's not a bad idea to add a little bit of salt if you're doing more than 24 hours. So also a question that I get often is if you should take your vitamins still when you are fasting. So I don't do it, because the maximum I've done is 3 days, and it's not really a problem to go 3 days without the vitamins. And actually vitamins should always be taken with food, otherwise it makes no sense to take them. Your body won't absorb them, so it will just be a waste. Of course, if you're taking some other kind of medication, then you should review with your doctor, because if you need to take medication with food, perhaps fasting is not the best tool for you. So I'm going to the office now, work a little bit, and I see you in a bit. Hi guys, so now I'm gonna have a little bit of my salt water. So I normally put some warm water in it, and I'll add some salt. I put quite a lot, like at least 1 tablespoon, one teaspoon, sorry, maybe a little bit more even, like that. Try to use very nice Himalayan salt, and then I will move that like that, so that it's nicely dissolved into the water, and then I top it off with cold water, so it's kind of a mix of warm and that's it. That's my breakfast. Now it's 12 a.m. so it's time for a coffee. I'm feeling a little bit, well, not weak, but I'm feeling that I went for a run. So I'm gonna have a nice cup of coffee. I would always recommend to keep this as clean as possible and as organic as possible. So if you have a nice, like, real coffee grinder and some organic coffee, of course it's much better, but I'm at the office now, so it's just regular coffee like that. Sometimes I put a little bit of salt in the coffee, or just a little bit of cinnamon to give it some flavor. And I also got some decaf, because maybe later I will want something to put in my mouth. I tend to get a bit nervous when I fast at work. That's why, as I said, it's only a 4-hour day, so it's not really long, so I will survive. But then at least I have my kids. And of course I have some nice green tea, which is super good also for fasting. It has some hunger suppressing qualities in it. And I don't really like green tea or the taste of it, but it sounds a bit crazy, but sometimes it helps to drink something you don't really like so much, so that, I don't know, it kind of changes your mood in your mouth, if that makes sense. Hi guys, so now it's 2 p.m. and I've been fasting for 17 hours, and I've been feeling quite bad, so that is through the effects of the very bad meal that I consumed yesterday. carbs, sugar, alcohol, everything, and that's why it's taking me a bit longer, or it's like a little bit harder to switch into the fasting mode, into the ketosis mode. I think I was experiencing that just an hour ago or so. When I was at the office, I was feeling suddenly quite fatigued, lethargic, and also quite cold. I've been feeling quite cold the whole day, so that's quite common when you're fasting. So I decided not to do the cold plunge that I was going to do in the sea today, and just to take it very easy. I booked a massage for later, and I think I'm just going to have a little nap and rest and put on some nice warm clothes and maybe sit a bit in the sun or have a little walk. I'm actually starting to feel a little bit better now that I moved. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling now. I'm pretty sure that if I just take it easy and take a little walk, I will get through this difficult moment and start feeling a bit more energetic again. Hi there, so now I'm gonna go for a nice walk. I just put some more warm clothes on, which is a big tip if you are doing fasting. Just dress a bit warmer than you normally would, because it's very common that you will feel cold, and what better than to be able to enjoy the sunshine here. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk a bit. I'm feeling a bit better. I laid down for just like 20 minutes and I massaged a little bit my belly, and that also helps a lot. So to use like for example a warm bottle of water, sorry. I think I'm experiencing some brain fog, so I can't think of my words, and put it like nice like that on your belly, or even massage a little bit. I know also in these like fasting clinics they use some kinds of oils. I heard castor oil is really good, and they massage it on top of your liver so that it helps it to open your detox pathways, and you can get into the detoxing mode a little bit faster. So all these things help a lot. Play with hot, cold, take a warm bath or something like that. It would be that can be very, very nice. Now I'm feeling quite hungry. I'm not exactly hungry, but just like weird, and my boyfriend was just cooking when I came home, so I actually just straight went to the room, closed the door, and I know that I'm feeling quite weak today, so because of what I ended my feeding window with, but yeah, so that little walk is going to do great, and I'm starting to feel a bit better. Hi guys, I just wanted to say that wow, when going for a walk was really, really, really what I needed. There was a moment where I had a little dip, so I thought, like, I was just listening to a very interesting podcast that was talking about stress and all the forms of stress, and how fasting is also a stress for your body. And that's why I would never recommend it for someone who is recovering from HA, or even to someone who has a very difficult time in their lives, or has just too much stress of any kind. Your body doesn't really distinguish which kind of stress or the reason of the stress, you know. So that's why I think it's very important to do it on the days that you're resting, like this day, and not to put too much, not to add too much. You shouldn't also exercise and also want to, I don't know, carry out a very important task, or deal with some emotional stress, or recover from HA, for example. So this is really for when you're recovered, and you have to do it with the right mindset. And the sun has a very relaxing effect on your body, so I feel completely like a different person now. I'm still a bit not with so much energy, and I'm a bit hungry, but I feel more relaxed now, so that's the nice thing. And I also try to give it a little mental twist, so not to see it all as a sacrifice, but just to enjoy it. And you know, in the past I would force myself to fast, and I would think, like, I could never do it, by the way. I did a lot of failed fasts, and I always wanted to push through, and it was exhausting to go through it every time again and never be able to complete the fasts. But I was just not in the right mindset. Also, my body, I was much, I was still, you know, when I got HA and everything, it wasn't really for under eating, it was more for over exercising. But anyway, it also contributed to it, of course. And I was trying to push myself to do things that my body wasn't ready for in that moment. but now I felt I was ready for it, so that's nice. And what I wanted to say is that instead of just wanting to get on with it and I used to be, like very impatient. I used to think like, oh, just let the time go by and tomorrow I can eat again. And I would like start looking at recipes from my bed, being hungry and just feeling miserable. So instead of doing that, I'm trying to enjoy. Well, sometimes when we cut out something, for example food, we will focus much more on the other nice things that make us feel good, such as a walk, such as the sunshine, and just grounds us and makes us more aware and more grateful of other ways of changing our state, of making us feel better. So that's what I'm trying to do now, to take some time to really, well, I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it at the moment, but just to feel it, so that's my mindset. Oh my god, the massage was amazing, exactly what I needed. Besides, they're constantly rubbing on your belly, so it's very nice that it's empty, and I've completely forgot about time and about the fasting and about hunger and everything, and now I'm in such a relaxed zen mode that I'm just gonna go home and I'm gonna maybe watch some Netflix and I'm gonna go sleep. Although it's quite early, I feel tired, and I'm sure tomorrow morning I'm gonna feel super well and much more energized. So bye bye. Hello there. It's in the morning again, and I have to say I woke up feeling amazing. I had so much energy, zero hunger. All my stomach problems have gone. I almost feel as if my injury also has got better, but I'm making that up. I don't know. I will see. I had so much energy that I felt like going a little bit to the gym. So I'm going to do a little gym class of body pump, but I'll see how I feel, but maybe I'll take a bit less weight. And the funny thing is that also because I'm fasting and I'm not really eating, and I felt all this energy, I cleaned my whole house and I did a lot of things that I was normally procrastinating on. So that's another very nice side effect of fasting, is that once you get over that switch, which is the difficult part, and you wake up again with energy, you really start doing a lot of stuff. So it's quite interesting. It brings you to another state of mind, I have to say. I'm also feeling really, really good, in a very good mood, very happy and completely normal. Not really missing the food. So now I totally see what people mean, no, when they say they can go for days and weeks. Anyway, that's not what we're gonna do, and I'll catch up later when I break my fast, which I'm gonna do today at 2 p.m. with a little soup that I made to start again to wake up the digestive system and not shock it. This is very important, how you break your fast. Bye bye.
Hello guys again. So here we are. I finally completed my 40 hours of fast. Well, that will be in 5 minutes. It's 5 before 2 o'clock, so I haven't eaten anything since the day before yesterday in the evening at 10 o'clock. Now I'm feeling amazing. I have so much energy, so much mental clarity. As I said this morning, I woke up without hunger, and I cleaned my whole house, and I did loads of things that I was procrastinating on, so I was like super productive. And then I went to the gym and I had an amazing spinning class, and I thought I'm just gonna go a little bit like half power, I'm gonna do just half the class, take it really easy. But I had so much energy, it's not normal, really, it's unreal. And I pushed it and I felt great. Sometimes I get a little bit dizzy when I like push myself too much, but I didn't have that. And the funny thing is also I'm working on the handstand, and I finally managed to do it on my own, and it's like amazing. I just feel like a superwoman. So I'm sure this is all what everybody's talking about. So just to wrap up and to answer my questions that I posed for this video, that was, should you or are you ever going to be able to fast if you ever have had HA, hypothalamic amenorrhea? Well, the answer is yes. I believe, of course, absolutely never when you are still in recovery. But if you have recovered and you do it carefully and following my tips, I think you can do it. It's just like exercise. It's something that has a lot of health benefits, and we don't need to taboo it out of our conversation. I mean, why? It's all about transparency here. So I also believe if something feels so good, I feel I feel very euphoric, but I also feel very calm, very zen, very aligned with myself, and very just in a very nice flow. So this is super super nice. I'm sure it's really healthy for a lot of other things. And anyway, just follow my tips if you want to do it. If you're recovering from hypothalamic amenorrhea, don't fast. Make sure you recover first, watch my other videos to do that, and then wait at least 1 year that you have a regular cycle, and then maybe you can start experimenting a little bit with this water fasting. I also would recommend you to do water only fasting, because I've done like soup and juice cleanses and all that, but that's not really fasting. That's more of a very low caloric diet, which I don't think is a very good thing. You're constantly not really switching into this fat burning gear, into this ketosis gear, the fasting mode. To me, it was much more difficult. Your blood sugars are going up and down like crazy, so I definitely wouldn't recommend doing it with juices. Maybe with some bone broth. Anyway, you can experiment. And what else I wanted to tell you? Oh yes, I've also been following a lot recently a very, very interesting doctor that posts sort of things online, on YouTube especially. Her name is Mindy Peltz. Maybe if you follow my channel, you will know her also, because she speaks a lot about the menstrual cycle and about how you can combine fasting with a healthy menstrual cycle. So please watch her videos, but basically what she is saying is that you shouldn't fast in the second half of your cycle, because that's when you're trying to boost progesterone after ovulation, if you have a regular cycle, of course. And then you should give your body a little bit more nourishment. You should go into more carbs, you're a little bit more hungry in those weeks before, at least in the week before your period. So you should honor those cravings, always healthy, of course. But on the first 10 days, especially, so from day 1 to day 10, is when you really, I always experience that I'm less hungry in those days. It's because your body is more capable of doing fasts, of doing like races or extreme physical activity or anything like that. They also used to say, if you are going to start a diet, I'm against any diets, but if you were going to do it, you should do it in the beginning of your cycle because of that. So I would recommend you to time the fasting in those 10 days. And as I said, if you do it carefully, also very important third tip that I give you, so that it's not too much stress on your body, you need to level the stress. So fasting is already quite a big stress, but some kind of stresses are good. It's like exercise. It forces your body to get better and to adapt. But you shouldn't overload yourself with too much stress. So the exercise part was a surprise for me. I wasn't planning on doing any exercise, but it went so well that I thought if I'm feeling good, why not? But generally, I wouldn't recommend you to do a very hard exercise if you fast like that, or don't do it if you're going through very difficult, stressful times with your job, your personal life, or whatever. So that's it. And now I'm going to show you my beautiful soup that I made. It's red cabbage soup with red onions and red beet and a little bit of goat cheese. So I put everything that's red in it, and it smells deliciously. I think like a vegetable soup like this or some bone broth is perfect to break your fast, because if you go straight to eat something like a steak or something that is harder to digest, maybe your body will reject it. I've had that sometimes before, so this is a good way to awaken your metabolism. And tonight I'm meeting some friends, as I said, and we're gonna have pizza. So I'm gonna eat a whole pizza, I think, and I'm just gonna enjoy. So yeah, feasting and fasting, I think sometimes it can be good. So here we go. Bon appetit. Amazing. Okay, bye. See you later. Bye. Please like my video and put your comments down below, and subscribe to my channel if you want to get more of this super nice health information. Bye.